My Hero Academia has absolutely cooked this season. The season was amazing. I don't care what anyone says. It's been pretty much hype for most of the season, if not all of it. There was only a few parts that were even went like downward, if you will. And that was mainly towards the beginning of the season when we're talking about the spy stuff. And even that wasn't even that all that bad. But overall, this has been an absolutely crazy season, an amazing season, and a season I think will always be remembered. But as a season finale, this episode not only cooked, but definitely leaving off at that huge of cliffhanger has got to be criminal. Prosecute somebody. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you haven't already. The reaction is over on Patreon if you haven't taken a look at it. But first things first, let's go over the beginning of it. The life and death of Himiko Toga. Now, we've been talking about Toga for the last few weeks, especially as it's been showcasing her episodes and what she's been doing with Twice and his abilities and how crazy strong it was to the point that it was mob-like reaching everyone. And then, thanks to Uraraka, it's all taken care of. Essentially gave that talk to Toga and pretty much made her more human, if you will. In this episode, it definitely showcased all of Toga, of who she is, and it's just sad that to atone for her sins, she essentially gives all of her blood to Uraraka, so then that way she survives, even stitched her up, which was like, oh dang, you even know how to do that. Okay, go Toga. It's sad that she finally realizes something in the end, which I hate whenever someone is like, oh, it's like they realize their life mission at the moment of their death and not like during their life. She's like, wow, this is such a great feeling. I guess I wish I had known about this earlier, and maybe it would have made her even better of a person to have a tolerable life in society. Instead of just always taking blood to show her love, now she can show her love in giving blood away. Too late now, and as you can see there at the final frame pretty much of her, all the blood that she had was given over to Uraraka, so then that way she could survive and push on. As Toga said, that even though her home was eradicated, it's still within her heart. Same essence can be said that now that Toga's gone, she'll always be in Uraraka's heart as she presses on to be that hero. And I love the fact that Toga was like, kind of realized that all Uraraka had to do was just stick to her guns about being a hero. Like, all you had to do was just fight deviants and fight villains and be the hero. But yet you came and showed your feelings even to me. Uraraka didn't have to do that. The fact that she did to help Toga. Now, of course, helping Toga means that everyone else survives as well, but I don't think that was the main objective of Uraraka. I think like she really wanted to meet with Toga and talk with her and express her feelings and bring Toga down to earth. And now they have this heartwarming, crazy good moment at the end there. You might have been a bad guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are a bad guy. So pour one out for Toga. It was sad. It was heartwarming, but it is what it is. And then they decided to follow that up with Peak. Like, look at this. This right here is gonna definitely be talked about for the longest. Armored All Might. Oh my lord. I was straight up, I was like, okay, I kind of could tell that he was going to get some type of armor, but I didn't realize it was going to be this clean. Like, look at the polish, look at everything. Like, it encapsulates everything that All Might represents. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to go in and if I'm going down fighting. And yet still he went, called in All For One. All For One is like, all right, man, you gotta be nobody. Even the police officer friend of his was all like, oh, don't record this. Now granted, I love the fact that La Bravo was like, we got a Bleach reference in there. He was like, no, don't record this because this is gonna be a bloodbath and it's gonna be his final moments. Which makes sense. You don't want to show, you know, one of the top heroes, or what used to be one of the top heroes, die on the internet. It ended up not being that as bloody as the police officer thought it was going to be. Thought that All Might's going to just roll over and just take it to stall for time, but All Might's not. Like, nah, I'm fighting. And I love the fact that all of his moves were named after the moves of his students, even though it was like a more mechanized version of it, if you will. But I mean, All Might did way better than I thought he was going to do. He even made it to where All For One got younger. Now, we learned previously that, when All For One pretty much gets not necessarily a fatal blow, but basically a blow that is so destructive that it makes his rewind faster and he gets younger and younger. And the fact that All Might poisoned him to such a degree that he had to blow himself up, All For One, in order to kind of reset, yeah, it made him even younger. And All Might is like, okay, we're getting somewhere. So yeah, All Might is not only stalling, but he's actually doing stuff. He's actually making a case for like, all right, I'm just not a pushover. So, and he keeps smiling. I'm glad that it's actually his face. Like, that is his actual mouth that's smiling and not some type of mask that represents him smiling. Like, he throughout this whole fight, he's like, hey, gotta keep that smile going. Really good job of representing what he stood for. And what he stood for was being that symbol of peace, which was great that they had that moment where he talked with his mentor. Now, I don't know if this was shown before in some of the other offshoot episodes, like Memories and Vigilantes and stuff, because I honestly hadn't seen those. We always kept getting the frame of All Might speaking with his teacher as they're going down the sidewalk, and he showed the background and everything was cool and such. This, for me, was the first time that I've seen that they flipped the script and showed the other side and showed how devastating and destroyed the world actually is. That All Might was raised in a world with villains on the loose, villains pretty much winning and knowing how everything is going around them. All For One is in this society. All For One is winning this society. So that's why he's like, I want to be the symbol. I want to bring hope to the world. And even as he was saying, how this shouldn't be a world where the people that steal get one up, and then the ones that get stolen from are always going out for revenge or getting mad. No, this needs to be a more peaceful, better society. And thus, that's why he wanted to be that symbol, even though he was quirkless. We always, I think, throughout the whole series, kind of got parts of this scene, but to see the full thing of what it actually was as he's talking to his teacher, I assume like the next frame after this is when she gives her hair to him and she learns that, okay, this is who my successor should be. And knowing that, it makes more sense to me. We understand where you're coming from even more so now, All Might. And even though All Might is right now fighting All For One and society is descended back to where it was, they have a fighting chance to defeat Shigaraki, defeat All For One, and make it back into a better society that All Might tried to make it into as being a symbol of peace. All right, it's the end of the season, so as far as rating, I really thought hard about this. I looked back as far as where we started and where we ended. I honestly would have to give this season a 9.5. It's such a good season in comparison to all the other seasons we've had of My Hero Academia. It's a really good standard as far as for shows that come out in the future of how to do a fighting season while still having a lot of content in it. We started off with Stars and Stripe with her battle with Shigaraki, and then transitioned to finding out who the spy is, and then transitioned to their plan as far as how to get all the villains separated, and then it was just nonstop fighting back and forth between everything. And up until this point where it literally ends the season on a cliffhanger fight. I mean, we discussed a lot of things of this season. We previously talked about Toga, her background and how she feels. We even talked about how, of course, the other races feel towards the people that look normal, as in the racism of My Hero Academia. We talked about the life of Star and Stripe and how she made a huge sacrifice in order to buy the hero's time in order to make this pushback. We had even Bakugo and his fight and his death. I so believe he's coming back. There's no way that they notice how they haven't been talking about or even showing Bakugo. there's no way that he's down for the count forever. There's no way. There's so much that's happened this season that has been monumental. That's even talking about La Brava, the Gentle Criminal, and Lady Nagant. So much. Like, this season has been packed full. Anyone that's ever really discredited My Hero Academia at any moment in time, this season like flips the script. Like, okay, this is what you've been waiting for. You know, we might have had in season 1, season 2, Deku, blah, blah, blah. It's like Deku wasn't even that bad compared to some other shows I've seen of main heroes being so down on themselves and just irredeemable. Looking at you, Tokyo Revengers and Rent-a-Girlfriend. All I can say is great season, just monumentally great season. And if you didn't hear about it, next season is not only going to be the final season of My Hero Academia, like it's ending, it's also going to be coming out next year, 2025, which is like, wow, we don't have to wait that long. At some point in time, we're going to get My Hero Academia again, and it's going to be it. It's going to wrap up. That's all it is. That's all she wrote. But until then, man, this was a crazy episode to end on. This was a crazy season to watch. It was so good from every standpoint that I can't wait to see what they decide to do as far as for the ending of the show. But tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, but make sure, no spoilers, please. And make sure you like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed for more, because we will definitely be discussing other anime this season. It's the fall season, and we have a lot of anime to go into if you haven't already checked out all the other ones here on the channel. And like I said, you're more than welcome to check out Patreon, sign up there, and see all the benefits you get, as well as uncut gameplay, as well as some uncut reacts for different shows. I hope you guys enjoyed the analysis this season. It's been pretty fun. I've enjoyed checking out My Hero Academia. It's been pretty cool for all these episodes, all 21 episodes. But until next time, you guys be safe, take care, and as always, see you next time, Space Cowboy. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.